everybody, and welcome to the first and hopefully not last Box Office Brawl, brought to you by Scrumptious Unscripted, myself, and the wonderful hostess, Kat. This is me framing her. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pick two movies with a similar idea. Like, are they both road films? Are they both comedies starring an ugly man? Whatever. This time, we're going with something very easy to start off with. Movies based around the internet. And in this case, chat rooms. So we're taking Unfriended, a surprise sleeper hit, i.e. people paid to see a shitty movie, or The Den, a movie that was a little bit more direct to cable, but it also was filmed almost entirely in chat roulette or on iPhones and handheld devices.
Yeah, it was very much the desktop view.
Yeah, so if you've heard of The Den, cool. You'll hopefully agree with us, maybe. I'm sure you've heard of Unfriended because you couldn't get away from it. So we're going to talk about the two movies, and we're going to try and reach a verdict. Does the little guy, The Den, the tiny little release, deserve to be appreciated more than the big feature film that was in theaters?
This is like the Mike Tyson punch-out final round where your dude's this big and Mike Tyson is just like all the way up here. So
Punch him
yeah.
in the dick. Why didn't you just punch him in the dick?
Why'd you bend over so I can punch you in the face? Anyway, yeah, so, we look at a couple different factors to put the movies head-to-head here. These ones are very much the same premise of a movie where it's like, oh no, via the internet, something terrible is happening. So yeah, the bare bones plot. Same movie. Budget vastly different.
Well, you say vastly different, but vastly different. But at the same time, they're both micro budgets compared to Hollywood. You said Unfriended was $1 million?
Yeah, Unfriended came in at $1 million budget, and The Den came in at $300,000.
Yeah, so, yeah, comparatively, I mean, that's a fact. The difference is $700,000, and that's, only $700,000. Dude, that's like 3 to 1 almost.
Yeah.
But they're both really cheap movies compared to what Hollywood's usually pumping out.
And I feel like pound for pound, Unfriended looked cheaper than The Den.
Yeah. I think part of that was the fact that everyone cast for Unfriended succeeded at being oily and despicable. For those of you who don't know, all 8 of you, the cast of Unfriended are all gathered together in fucking chat. It was Skype, right? I saw that.
Yeah, it was Skype. Like, Unfriended is like the branded version because everything is a brand name thing. You have Facebook, you have Skype, you have
YouTube playing the video,
yeah.
So they're all on Skype, and then some ghost evil thing is killing them off one by one while everyone else is stuck watching because the angry ghosts wants the person who killed her, who is on the chat, to apologize. That's the whole fucking plot. Whereas with The Den, we got a cooler little idea, I personally think. This woman is doing a study of how people treat each other online, especially with strangers. So she's just on chat roulette all fucking day long. Just next. How many people can I watch masturbate in one day? That's the premise of The Den.
Yep.
And then she comes into a horrible, horrible scene, and then it gets mysterious and murderous from there.
Yeah. Yeah, she witnesses somebody get murdered on chat roulette and gets all up in arms about it, like calls the police, and of course the police are like, well, it's random, straight, like, what do you want us to do? Which is a very good question.
You don't have a location, you don't have a name, you just say you saw. How do we know it's not staged?
Yeah.
So yeah, she is convinced it's real. No one will listen to her because it's fucking chat roulette.
Yeah.
So my personal opinion, if it's not obvious already, The Den had its problems, but pound for pound, it was a much better movie than Unfriended. Because Unfriended started off from the very beginning, I hated everyone in the movie. And I wanted them all to die, and they didn't die fast enough.
I think that was my biggest bitch with Unfriended as well, is it's like, you gave me a cast of characters, and I have no empathy for any single one of them. But I also don't empathize with the angry ghost that's off at him either. There was no sympathy to be had. It was strictly body count for the sake of body count.
Even the character that they wanted you to feel bad for is kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
Kind of like if I were going to school with that woman, I would not be friends with her. And she's the
Yeah.
good person in the group.
Yeah, she was supposed to be the quasi moral compass. And that was the other thing too, like not to knock any of the actors that were in that, but like how old were they supposed to be? I couldn't tell if they were supposed to be in high school, if they
Yeah,
were in
they were supposed
college.
to be high school seniors.
Okay, because all I know is like everybody was like drinking, smoking
Yeah,
weed, like
that's the other thing.
living in inconsequential circumstances with
Yeah,
no other human beings
how
around.
great would that be to just be this fucking rich upper middle class teenager who can access his parents' booze, drugs, firearms?
Yeah, guns.
Nobody's home because apparently everyone's parents work from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. so they can just do whatever the fuck they want. Man, what a life that would have been as a teenager. The Den has consequences
Yeah.
throughout the movie, not just, oh, hey, someone died and one of us is at fault consequence. It's the woman is taking action throughout the film and people are reacting appropriately to her. Now, one of the biggest naysayers on the film is that how come everyone she encounters on chat roulette and in life is like, no, 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 you would think somebody would believe her. But at the same time, the law of averages, if I'm popping up on chat roulette going, you need to help me, something's going on, I'm going to next.
Yeah,
I don't want to get involved with that shit.
skip.
Yeah, so, and on one hand, yeah, are a lot of people unnecessarily rude and abrupt? Probably. But on the other hand, sociologically, most people don't want to get involved with this kind of stuff. So if you're upset at the movie for that, then you just need to go back and pay attention.
And that happened in both films actually, because you had like that is actually a parallel between them, and I agreed with it in both senses because both girls hit panic mode and are like, I need to contact somebody. Now, why they didn't grab either of their phones, respectively, I have no idea. But for the sake of the film, it's like, I have to contact somebody through the internet. And yeah, they both end up on like chat roulette, although I think it was like Omegle or whatever, because again, branded Unfriended.
80% less dicks.
Maybe. I don't know if you've been on Omegle. But either way, they both ran into the same problem of like people just like, whoa, nope, 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 skip, 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 like not dealing with you, and it's like, you have to help me, call 911. Nope.
Now, I think Unfriended was a more coherent film. That's the only thing I'll give it. From start to finish, it was exactly what you expected it to be. The Den takes some turns, and it doesn't always maintain coherency, but it maintains a higher level of not terrible movie throughout. So yeah, Unfriended just starts down here and stays down here. The Den does dip, but it starts so much higher, I'm willing to forgive some of its issues.
Yeah, and they do deviate. Like bare bones plot, like premise is the same for both movies. Execution a little bit different. Like Unfriended is straight up a slasher movie, like without a physical bad guy.
Well, and more importantly, one of the people in the Den is David Schlachtenharfen. So yeah, he's got that going for him right there. Much better name than anyone in Unfriended.
I don't know anything
Moses
about
Storm.
that.
I look at Unfriended. That's the first name I see on Unfriended. Moses Storm. All right, your parents are trying too hard, Moses. I'm gonna close this before I get in trouble for making fun of too many people.
Yeah, let's try to. Well, I don't know. We could rip it to shreds, but we'll try and keep.
But I'm not gonna rip Unfriended to shreds based on the names of the actors. It was just a terrible movie.
It was a terrible movie. It was a slasher, and it was a bad slasher, which is so weird because usually slashers, even bad slashers, have redeeming comedic value. I did not find any in Unfriended.
Yeah, and when you look at the age of the internet, is showing up in horror movies, but it's being done a lot better by all these direct-to-DVD. Mr. Smiley, was it, or was it just Smiley?
It was just Smiley.
And then your big one with the video game, getting sucked in the video game one.
Oh, Stay Alive.
Stay Alive, and then and the Den. These are good movies. These are actual horror movies that I would recommend to people. And the only one out of these four that got a theater release is Unfriended, and it was just terrible.
Yeah. And that's my biggest bitch. My biggest bitch with it is it's like, really, Hollywood? Like that's what you latched onto, and you went, this is what people want to see, and
great premise. I loved the idea.
I do. I loved the idea too, which is why we're here to say, hey, maybe you want to consider watching The Den. If you liked the premise and
Yeah,
weren't satisfied,
and I might have
watch.
liked the Den even more if it had stayed to the same premise. Again, the Den does wander off to
Yeah.
handheld and phone cameras and stuff at points, but it was still a much stronger basis for a film. And I'm sorry, you need a likable character. In a horror movie especially, you need one person to root for. Even if it's the bad guy, you
Yeah.
still need to root for somebody.
Yeah. Oh no, I felt awful at the end of Unfriended because I was just like when they finally showed like the climax of the video that caused this girl to want to commit suicide and caused all that scandal, and well I watched it and I'm just like, is that it? Really? Like
Yeah, I understand as a
you
teenager,
passed
your
out
life is
drunk
over.
and pooped yourself and like that's it? Like
Yeah.
that was the thing.
And I'm not trying, like, if you have trauma, if something like that happens, that's fucking traumatic. Get yourself to therapy. Talk to people about it. People making fun of you for that shit, they're wrong. I totally, I understand all that. But at the same time, yeah, it ain't worth killing yourself over for pooping your pants.
Yeah, I expected it to be a much bigger, more heinous reveal.
I'd be dead 3 or 4 times if I killed myself every time I shit my pants.
Well, I was just thinking every time I got passed out drunk, like regardless of what happened after that, like if I just
Yeah,
yeah,
be angry, be upset with your friends. Fucking get them arrested for all I care. But don't
yeah,
kill yourself.
kill
And then
yourself.
if you do kill yourself, well, no, don't kill yourself.
Yeah,
Because coming back as a vengeful fucking Skype ghost is the worst way to go.
yeah. Nobody wants to be stuck in Skype forever.
Yeah, and I think at the same time, the Den had a cooler like mystery around it too.
Yeah.
I liked the what's causing all of this violence and
Well,
chaos on
yeah,
the
it was kind of
internet.
like a little bit of like an internet Scooby Doo murder mystery for a
Yeah, there
little
was some
bit there, and
conspiracy stuff going on there. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's. I think we're agreed on this. The verdict is that yes, the little guy is far superior to
The
the chick.
little guy gets the knockout, like definitely on this one, and this, we're trying a new show format here. I might have picked something that was a little bit easy. You guys might be going, well, duh, Unfriended wasn't gonna win shit. However, that said, we're planning some other stuff down the future. We're just trying to kind of feel out the format, and yeah, we took the easy route to start off. Got to build up to the more complicated things.
And we are going to focus on horror to start.
Yeah, though this has a broad spectrum appeal, and it might actually mean that I have to leave the house and go see things in the box office.
Or at least relatively within Redbox time. Like new to Redbox.
I'm working on it. That said, guys, thanks for checking out our new show. We don't have scheduling or anything for this yet, so we will get back to you when there is another episode. And we'll see you then.